Hi, today we're talking about CCM6 converting between customary and metric measurements. This is calculator active, so please make sure you have a calculator handy. Here are some common conversions between customary and metric units. They're approximations, which means they're rounded numbers because the decimals go on for a really long time. So these numbers are all rounded, so that's why it looks like a squiggly line for an equal sign. It's an approximation. So for example, 1 inch equals about 2.54 centimeters. So take a second, pause the video, write down these measurements because you're going to need them when we set up our proportions for the next slide. Okay, we're going to complete these conversions, and to do so we're going to need to write up proportions. So similar to when we converted between customary systems, now we're going to convert from customary to metric or metric to customary. We set up a proportion for those. In metric, when we converted between the metric system, we did not use proportions. So if you want to review how to set up a proportion, that might be really important for this lesson. So if I have 5 gallons, I want to know how many liters that is. I'm going to set up a proportion using what I know. I know I have 5 gallons, and I want to know how many liters that is. So that's my first half of my proportion. And then I'm going to use the information from the table from the previous slide. And I know that 1 gallon is about equal to 3.79 liters. So once I have all of that set up, I am going to cross multiply. And I like to keep my units in my proportion to help me remember how to line up my units. I want my gallons to be in the numerator and my liters to be in the denominator. I don't want to flip-flop, mix and match my units because that won't help me at all. So the units are important until we start multiplying. When we start multiplying here, we can kind of forget our units for a second. X times 1 is 1x, and I really don't even need that 1 there because x, it's an understood one. So 5 times 3.79, if you do that on your calculator, you should get 18 and 95 So that means that 5 gallons is about equal to 18 and 95 liters. Okay, let's try the second one. 7 miles, and we want to convert that to kilometers. So I don't know how many kilometers that's going to be. But if I look at my chart, I know that 1 mile is equal to about 161 kilometers. So once I've got my proportion set up, I'm going to cross multiply. And 1x is equal to 11.27. So that means 7 miles. If I'm in my car driving 7 miles, I've really driven 11 and 27/100 kilometers. If you feel comfortable setting up proportions, you might want to press pause here. Try the rest on your own if you've got the worksheet printed out. If not, then that's fine. Just watch the video with me and I'll go through a couple more. Okay, I have 45 kilograms. I want to know how many pounds that is equal to. And in my table on the other slide, I know that 0.45 kilograms is equal to 1 pound. On that table, on the first slide, it had 1 pound equals of 0.45 kilograms. But remember, we're matching the units up. Kilograms, kilograms, pounds, and pounds. So you have to put it in the right location. Once you have all of this set up, we're going to cross multiply, kind of ignoring my units for now. Okay, so x times 0.45 is 0.45x or 45 hundredths times x. 45 times 1 is just 45. Now this problem is different than the other problems I've just completed because x is not by itself. I want to know what 1x is worth. Not 45 hundredths of x, but 1. So to get x by itself, I'm going to divide by 45 hundredths. So in your calculator, you'll type in 45 divided by 45 hundredths, and that gives you exactly 100. So 45 kilograms is about equal to, very close to equaling 100 pounds. We've got some more problems to work through. If I've got 8 cups, I want to know about how many milliliters this is. So I write down what I know, 8 cups. How many milliliters is that? On my chart from before, it told me that 1 cup is equal to 236 and 6/10 milliliters. I'm going to cross multiply. And I have 1x equals, and then I'm going to pick up my calculator, type it in, 1,892 and 8/10. So that's 1,892 and 8/10 milliliters. Okay, number 5. Mammoth Cave is the largest cave system in the world. So far, 365 miles of the cave has been explored. What is this distance in kilometers? So I'm going to set up a proportion. 365 miles is how many kilometers? And I'm going to set that equal to what I know. I know 1 mile is roughly equal to 1 and 61 hundredths of a kilometer. Once we've got this set up, we're going to cross multiply, and you'll figure out pretty quickly that my answer is 587.65 hundredths kilometers. So what I'd like you to do now is press pause on the video. You're going to work through these other problems that you've received on your page there. If you didn't get a handout of this lesson, that's fine. Just copy down these problems, press pause, fill it out using your proportions. When you're done and you want to check your work, just push play, and then I'll write them on the board for you. Here are your answers. Hopefully you got them all correct.